Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome to the Christopher Mark Show. I am here with my boy. Y'all know him. We've done a lot of stuff together, so if y'all don't know him, this is my boy Kirkland Kayrunna for Welling. Did you want to do the sign thing that you did? The throw up.
For the show for the audience.
Yeah, for the crip walk thing that you do with your hands. I don't know what that is. Like, okay,
The UV symbol.
okay. Yeah. Y'all know what that's about. Y'all know what it is. So today we're gonna go into, Kirk actually just dropped this album, and we are doing this as a way so you guys can know a little bit about him, what he does, and also so that y'all can actually go purchase the album. All right, so Kirk, so I'm gonna go in a little bit more. Would you like to go by Kirk, Mr. Runner? How would you? What's the preference?
Let's call him Kayrunna. Call me
Runner. Okay.
Yeah, call me Runner.
Runner. All right, Runner. All right, so let me ask. First question I have for you is, what inspired you to become a music artist?
For me, it was just to directly answer the question, art. For me, since I was a kid, I've always wanted to be an artist because I've always been an artist. And then I started off, drawing, painting. I had a guitar at the house. So I would pick up the guitar and just, play some tunes or whatever. So it's like I didn't know any specific songs. I would just kind of make my own songs. And I had a keyboard that I would play as well. But it was for me, it was just about art, it's about creating, it's about expression. And because I always had a love for all of the arts, for me it was about as time went on, as I was getting older, it was really about just finding what art to really dive into that could allow for me to embrace all of the arts I wanted. So I never actually saw myself as a music artist per se until I was a teenager, and I saw that it was a good way of getting out a lot of raw emotions, because for me it's I'm a communicator. So obviously I'm saying I'm big on communication in terms of making sure that I'm clear and concise and people understand where I'm coming from, and so that I can understand where they're coming from too, which most people nowadays don't have any care for the English language at all. So
yeah, they don't.
And it's a shame, because even with me being as good of a communicator as I am, I have found myself in situations where people didn't necessarily understand per se where I was coming from, and they took it a certain kind of way. They would take it negatively, long story short. So it's I needed a place where I could vent, get out my angers and frustrations, but also have a vehicle in which I could help people, because my biggest thing that got me into art outside of just expressing myself was trying to find a way where I could help people. So, and I know that, through music and obviously through other arts as well, but music has a way of helping people in a different way. It's therapeutic. So that's kind of what got me into the aspect of music.
Okay, all right. So let me ask you this. So why is it that you feel like people should buy your album? What is it, one, what are they going to take away from it? And then why should, what's the difference between, how most people oh, well, I can get your, I can get people music for free. Why am I buying your album? Why am I doing this?
So the funny thing about me is I think that a lot of people, they never really understood why I was getting into music. They never understood why I was into art. So there's a lot of people that know me from music, but they don't know the who's, what, where's, why's behind it. Like I said earlier, that part of the reason why I did art was do art is because I want to be able to help people. So for me, when I went to go create my art, when I went to go create my music, it was about creating something that was not just therapeutic for me, but also by telling my story, in which I know that other people can relate to. So it's for example, people like Kendrick Lamar, or with his first album, Good Kid, Mad City. Well, that's the second album. Either way, Good Kid, Mad City, or you see Nas with Illmatic, like they teach hip hop courses in college, the psychology behind these types of albums. And it's like, for me, it's like I don't need anyone teaching about the psychology of what it is that I do. Now, I'm not trying to put myself in the same league as them, but what I am saying is though that music artists, period, are therapists, and people don't even realize it. You know what I mean? I don't think people think about that. You'll go pay a therapist, you know what I mean, to go talk to them and this and that for them to understand you. And it don't work all the time. I had a therapist when I was younger. It didn't work. I didn't feel like they understood me at all. So I think, just so to get to your question, this album, with how I set it up, it's set up in a way where it puts you through the therapy session. So in you listening and hearing my story with how I'm telling it, you'll understand the importance of why it's important to have someone that you can vent to get out your emotions and frustrations and angers in the world. Or why it's important to express yourself in a specific type of way. Why it's important that you embrace your talents. Like, these are the things that I talk about in this album. So when you go to hear this album, you're not just getting entertainment, you're getting a life story, but also the importance of why I'm talking about it. Most people tell their life story because, they need material, they need something to talk about. For me, I'm creating a class. So this album isn't just music. This is something that I'm going to have courses about. So I think that's what separates this album from other people and their albums. Because for me, I don't look at myself as a music artist per se. I see myself as an artistic therapist.
Did y'all hear that? An artistic therapist. That is new. And let me explain something to y'all, so y'all understand. Okay? Being a music artist is not, we're not here. I know for me, I'm an artist. And, Kirk's an artist, and what he does, and excuse me, Mr. Runner. But what we do is help people. We express what you feel, everything, the anger, the frustration, what's going on in the world, the unfairness of it all. We express that. And the way that we express that is obviously through our artistry. But, when you have artists where they're saying, hey, listen, I need you to, support what I have going on, it's not because we out here begging for change. It's really because at the end of the day, we're allowing you an opportunity to help yourself. And not only that, but also to value our actual work and what we do. Because it takes time. How many months did it take you to put together this album?
The initial process of when I started it and everything, it's funny, this is new to y'all, but I've sat with this album for about 2 years now. When I first started it, recorded it took me about a month and a half to produce, write, and record all the songs. Mm-hmm.
So you had to... Go ahead.
I only sat with the album for 2 years because, me and you had to hash out a lot of the business aspects, and plus we had other prior engagements business-wise that we were working with.
Right.
But the album took me about a month and a half to put it together.
Right. So you're looking at the the time, the effort, the thought that goes into it. Now you're probably saying, why is he saying all this? Because we want you to buy the album. That's the reason why. Okay? I want you to understand that we want you to understand one thing, that we're not giving it away for free. So anybody out there who's like, yo man, can we get it for free? maybe later. But in the initial process, we want to put some respect on our name. Well, at least he does.
Yeah, nah, for real. Like, I mean, listen, people keep talking about like how all the music sounds the same, this, that, and third, blah, 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 but y'all keep buying the same crap. Like, I know for anybody that hears this, they probably gonna be mad that I call it, crap. But it's like, listen, like, I mean, I'm calling it spade a spade. Some of this music out here, I'm not saying it's all trash, but it's not music. You're just mass producing a product just to sell and make money. It's like there's no actual feeling behind it. The feeling that's being put behind the music out is money and big business. And because of that, that's why the music doesn't sound the same as it used to, because everyone feels that way. It doesn't matter. Like, the new generation's always like, oh, don't judge us in the second and third. But even y'all say that the music don't sound how it used to sound. And that's because the truth of the matter is that the difference between what was going on back then versus now is the level of emotion that was getting put into it, because these people were really going through some stuff. Not to say that we're not going through some stuff now. I think that now we're in the age of information, so people are taking the information and figuring out how to use that to their advantage, flip it, and make money off it, so that they can actually try to take care of their issues. But back then, it was more about like, yo, I'm getting paid, but it's like, yo, I can really let off some stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's the difference. They were really using it back then, and they might not have thought of using it as therapy. But when I hear a DMX album from back in the day, this man was letting out some real pain, and he put real prayers. He put real prayers in his music. That's how much pain he was going through, that he needed God so much that he made sure that it was recorded so that God can hear him, hear his prayers all over the world. Yeah. That's real pain. When Beanie Siegel, you know what I mean, made his song God, y'all hear this man's voice crack in the song because he was actually going through some real stuff. So I think that's one thing that you're going to experience with this album. You're going to hear me rapping it. There's a little bit of singing on there as well, but this album, I kind of just wanted to kind of give y'all a base level of who I was. You know what I'm saying? Later albums, you're going to hear a lot more singing from me as well. But this album, you're getting the raw. And the reason why it's important that you buy this is because at the end of the day, like I said, this is a teaching session. It's not just entertainment. Are you going to be thoroughly entertained? Absolutely. But you're absolutely also going to take away something from it. And it's going to touch you spiritually.
I'm going to say this. That's the last thing to say. How can you value something if you never value it? All right. I'm going to leave y'all with that. Now, click the link below. Go support my boy. All right. And, obviously there's two options. There'll be a few options on there. So one is you can actually get the album. And the other, you'll actually be able to get the album with the booklet where he kind of goes, gives you the rundown on, with the lyrics and everything like that. But also you can see his actual artistry and what he does. All right. So go check that out. And I appreciate you guys. I love you. And thank you for joining me on this segment, being able to interview my boy Kayrunna, Mr. Runner. All right. And go enjoy that class, that session, that emotional feelings of expression. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.
Buy the damn album. Buy the damn album.
Y'all heard the man. All right. I'll see you later.
Peace.
Yeah, that was perfect.